This is a 2009 Delta 17 with thousands of miles on it. I bought this boat in 2009 to paddle the Inside Passage, which I did in 2011. We went back to Alaska in 2014 for another month of paddling there, and in between paddled hundreds, if not thousands of miles here in North Carolina. I teach in this boat. I do personal trips in this boat. She has been wonderful, but she's in need of some help. So you can immediately see what kind of shape the cockpit is in. The edge of the coaming has this sort of rubber barrier on it so that it's a smooth edge instead of a sharp edge, which doesn't want to stay in place. You can sort of see that I used Gorilla Tape to hold it in place. The seat back is far from original. This is a prototype low-profile seat that Delta was testing, that I tested for them. I still had to pay for it, but I was testing for them, and it did not hold up. It broke, and then I sort of jury-rigged a fix. And that's primarily what I need to do, is just replace this whole seat mechanism, and I'm going to do just a simple foam block. One of the few things that I'm not happy with about this boat is that the entire boat, which is thermoformed plastic, is treated with a UV protectant to keep it from discoloring, but they didn't treat the inside of the cockpit. And so you can see that's the color it used to be. It's very dirty, and it became this sort of yellow color within a year or two of me getting the boat. And so that's probably my one complaint. I think that they probably treat the whole thing now, but I'm not sure. And it doesn't really affect it. I just don't like the way that it looks. And so this whole seat mechanism is going to come out, and we're going to replace it with a foam block. And I think I'm going to try and salvage part of this to be the internals of that foam block. But first, we got to get that seat out, and we've got to clean the entire cockpit and get it ready for the new paddling season. And I need to get this done before the start of my paddling season, which is in a couple months. So I want the seat back to end up close to where it is now, and maybe just a little bit narrower, 5 inches high above the seat back. That was easy. Hope it doesn't. Okay, that is done. But as I said, I kind of want that piece of plastic that's in there. Okay, this will become the foundation for the new seat back. Look at the 10 years of grime inside here. So yes, I am cleaning under my seat, which might seem crazy, but there's so much grime under there, and I don't know when I'm going to have this seat out again. So it was just a good time to get in there and get it clean. But the thing that kills me about them not treating the inside of the cockpit with the UV protectant is the inside of my boat could look like that. Look how nice and white that is. That is about as clean as this boat has been in a very long time. And I need to stress, I haven't done this before. I've talked to a few people who've done similar stuff, but I'm not really sure how this is going to work out. Here's what needs to happen. A block of foam is going to sit here, notch underneath the cockpit coaming, and come a little bit out over this piece so that the seat back can be here, but I only need it to be about that wide. We're going to use this block of foam, which I think is about the right width, and everyone I've talked to says cut it with a sharp serrated knife. That's 4 inches. Doesn't cut as easily as I was hoping, but it feels pretty smooth. But I can trim that. Okay, so I need to cut this, and then how deep do I need to cut that? 3 inches. That looks surprisingly good. A little hard to see what I was doing, but it cut super quickly. And so I am digging that. That will have to get cut much thinner. I'm possibly gonna run a long bolt through the bulkhead to secure it. I may not do that. I think I'm gonna see how it looks with just adhesive, because this is pretty tight. So this thing has been pressed between 2 blocks of wood with adhesive for a couple days while I've been waiting. I'm sure I could have pulled it sooner. Yeah. All right. You know, I don't consider myself much of a maker. So this thing isn't very pretty, but it really just has to be functional. actually looks pretty good. And I'm gonna cover it, I just haven't figured out how yet, besides material and spray adhesive to hold it in place. And I think we're just gonna let this adhesive dry, see how strong it is, see if the adhesive is strong enough just to hold it in place on its own or if it needs something else. Okay, so it's been 3 weeks. I was doing my Knowles course, and so this sat here for 3 weeks with its cover on, and thaw cycles and freeze cycles and rain, and I just had to pump out the cockpit, but the adhesive, you can see, didn't really hold. And so we're gonna have to do something I didn't want to do, which is a bolt to secure it through the bulkhead. So it's not gonna go anywhere. I didn't want to do a bolt, but it's got to be steady so that I can roll and things like that and I don't lose it. And then I just have to cover it and it's done, and I'm honestly more worried about covering it and making it look nice than anything else. I think it's going to look pretty janky because I'm not good at that sort of stuff. That was easy. Gonna make a little recessed area for the washer so I don't feel it in my back. Trying this stuff out to seal it. I get tired of those caulk guns. They work fine, but they get hard to do. So I'm going to try this guy out. And that is tight. Rock and roll. My plan to refinish this was just to hit it with some spray adhesive and then cut up an old quick dry shirt and adhesive it to it so it's got a nice tight cover. The problem is I don't have an old quick dry shirt that I can cut up. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I might buy something at the next garage sale just to cut up. But that's the plan. But that's not going anywhere. And I'm going to call it a day. And once I cover it, I'll add pictures of the finished to Instagram. And we'll be done. Okay, new seat. There we go.